Testy,
Testy,
testy, but
testy.
testy, and it's testy. It looks
Testy.
good. Okay, consider us tested.
Roll music.
Oddities. Stay strange. Our sick new intro, courtesy of Kyle Head Music.
I love that intro.
It's just so like it just fits us. It's just like,
It's
and it gives
so
like goosebumps
good.
energy, and it's just like fun, funky, and fresh. So thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Information's in our description. Check him out. Uber talented. Also all over social media. His handles are very consistent. It's consistently Kyle Head Music. So
Yeah, he knows what he's
Head, as
doing,
in-
obviously.
head is in head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
There you
And
go.
Kyle is in Kyle. So
Thanks,
there
Chef.
you have it. Thanks, Chef. Oh my God, he said it. Yes, bitch. all aboard the Chef bandwagon.
I love that game. Michael and I have been playing that game for years. And it's a
cry
source of
every time.
it's a source of our marriage. Like, I'm not going to say counseling, but it is.
You're like, it's the glue keeping us together.
It really
It's,
is. That's how we get through shit.
I love that for you. Yeah, Corey and I play it a lot too, and when we play, like I cry laughing because it's such chaos. And then the level of chaos that was experienced when I played it with, I think I could say Alex and Kyle when they
You've
came out
said
to
her
visit.
name several times now. I think it's
Have
okay.
I actually? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
and the last time you were like, I think I could say it. So if it's not
God,
okay at this
wow.
point, she needs to let you know.
I swear to God, I black out every time I record. I swear to God. But anyway, the level of chaos, it was unmatched with 4 players. I mean, if you can find a way to play with like a couple other people, go for it. Because tears streaming down.
It's
like
such a good game.
It's such a good game. Absolutely hilarious. Which one do you have?
I think we were playing it on our PlayStation. It's been a minute since we played it.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we couldn't play it around the kids anymore.
And I forget if we have Overcooked or Overcooked 2, but we also have it where it's like a bunch of downloadable content. So it's like the different little levels and different characters and whatever. And then the one that we have, you can make your little characters curse, and it's just, I love it. Like they
You
have,
can
like,
make
little,
your characters curse.
like you don't hear them say anything. They're like, meow, 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 but like it does the little, like, you know how like it'll be like £! Exclamation point, like it'll do like a bunch of characters, whatever. You know, they're cursing, and it's just hilarious. So that's all I do the whole time. Yeah,
You just curse. That's very
just
Cassie.
cursing. So it's really no fucking different from the day to day. You know. So we were actually just talking. Oh no, sorry. Hi everybody. Welcome back to Oddities. I'm Cassie.
I'm Kellie.
And welcome back to Strange Town. If you want, you can follow us on social media. It's all in the description. It's a good time.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
That's right. Testy, testy. And in addition, you can donate to our show. Do so on Patreon. You get a bonus episode every week. Testy, testy. And we have a merch store. You can purchase our merch. Maybe I'll make some merch.
Us.
You can represent us, and you can also say testy, testy. I wonder if anybody's going to call me intolerable after that. I hope so.
I can't wait to hear what people have to say about us after that.
It's been a while since I've been insulted by our listeners, so
Here it goes.
Gotta be brought down to earth, you know. How's my bestie?
Well, I can hardly move, but I'm fine.
Still alive, but I'm barely breathing.
There it is.
I'm sorry, you can hardly move. Tell us about it.
I I'm thinking I just have something pinched in my back. I don't know. It just
We're
sucks.
blaming the dentist chair.
Yeah.
Listen,
So,
fuck that chair.
yeah. Yeah, F that chair. Ugh.
Yes.
It's
All
just
right, so
pain.
Kelly's on the way out. One foot in the grave at the moment.
It really
Not
is.
not in great shape. Gonna take
No.
some baths.
And lay on a heating pad for the rest of the day. Maybe go find a doctor. I don't know. Um,
All of the above. Why not?
here we are. Thriving, surviving, barely by a thread.
Same. Thriving, surviving, barely by a thread.
Yep. Um, favorite Cassie text of the week.
That segue. Yada da 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 da.
Probably was Sunday when we were just crapping on the
The fucking Super Bowl.
well, yeah, we were just crapping on the Super Bowl, but mostly on the halftime Super Bowl
Oh my
show.
god, I don't even Usher. Man, what was that?
What the highlight of the Super Bowl halftime show was Luda.
Big time. Listen, Usher still looks good though. He's a handsome man.
Well, yeah, of course he does. He does like I think 6 shows a week in Vegas,
Same.
so he's got to look good.
Fair point. Well
But
made.
how can you do that many shows a week and have
Cocaine.
that crappy of a show?
Oh, okay. Different.
You went a different way.
Just
It's
kidding. I don't
fine.
think Usher does cocaine. Um, True, right? Because like if you're in that great of like practice in terms of performing, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like I don't know. And he didn't even choose like I was waiting for like I don't remember what the
Bieber.
song's called. Well, I was definitely waiting for Bieber
Oh,
to show up, but I was waiting for like DJ's got us falling in love again. That was
yeah.
like my fucking college clubbing experience. That's what that was.
Millennials were expecting more. We were
We got 30
expecting
seconds
more,
of yeah.
and he fell short.
Oh, and also, a couple people got injured. One of the roller skaters fell off the stage. The one pole dancer fell off her pole. I was like,
Oh
Jesus,
gosh,
guys,
she went flying down that pole.
she fucking dropped.
Yeah,
Whoa.
she dropped low,
She listen. She committed.
low,
So you
low,
know,
low, low.
low. So not
Yeah,
pleased.
not pleased that. Look, when singers sing live, things happen, right?
For
There's like literally
sure.
nothing wrong with that, right? I think Alicia Keys did wonderfully. So what? Her voice cracked in the beginning. Shit happens. Do I love that then they were like, we're gonna edit this shit and put it on YouTube? No, I don't love that. I don't
Do
love
I
that at
also
all.
not love their very strange embrace with one another? Did that seem
No.
weird to you?
Yeah, that seemed really weird to
It
me.
felt weird, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this: that weird cape that she had on at the beginning when she was sitting at the piano, it made it look like she was just farting a lot.
I will say this. That entire show, Rihanna's was better.
Which is really saying something because I didn't like hers much at all.
Right?
Yeah.
So here we are.
So I feel bad because Usher, like, I think went on like public record being like, "This has been a bucket list item for me," and then it just like, I wasn't having it. I mean,
Dumpster
not that I'm
fire.
like literally anybody that he gives a shit about, but
I will say this. The Super Bowl show, like the Super Bowl entirely, was so much more enjoyable to watch if you were watching it on Nickelodeon.
I should have. I need to find a way to make it happen last year. I
The
mean, next
Bikini
year.
Bottom Bowl was better than anything else because you had Dora the Explorer popping up every so often explaining plays to you, right?
Which would have been helpful for people like me.
If you
Yeah.
didn't know what was going on, so like there was and she was so snarky.
Listen, we'd love to see it. Way to go, Dora, a queen.
But
Did
yeah,
you ever
no.
see the Dora Explorer movie, the live action one? Because that was boss.
No, I didn't. But
That
yeah,
shit
back
was
to
good. Yeah, carry on.
I guess you were like, you had texted me and you were like, what is this? And I was like, I don't know, I'm tending to my hurt child. And you're like, you're not missing anything.
Nothing happened. So my issue was that nothing happened for the entirety of the first half, and then it was sandwiched by that god awful halftime show.
Yeah.
So then I just turned it off and went to bed.
Yep.
I was
And
like,
then you
I've
went to
seen
bed and
enough.
everything happened.
And then literally everything fucking happened. And I woke up the next morning and I have all these text messages and I'm reading all this shit online. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm bitter.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the Cassie. That's the Cassie text of the week.
Yeah.
There you
I have
have it.
another one, but I'm saving that for next week because we're about to double record. So,
We're about to double dip again, y'all. Get ready.
yeah, ready for this chaos. How's my bestie?
Your best is good. Do I want to share this on this episode or do I want to share it on the next episode? Uh, well, I'll share it on the next episode. For this episode, we just had my mother-in-law came out to visit us for a couple days. Had a lot of fun. Um, I think she still listens to the show. Hello, hi mom.
Hello.
Um, and yeah, so we just hung out around the house and stuff. The weather was a little dicey. We had some more snow, but then it like didn't stick as much. So then we got to go out a little bit, and like it was very strange. But we have this little downtown from us. There's this little Celtic shop, and they have a little cafe, and it's all like Irish like food, and so we went and we enjoyed that, and that was delish.
I love that. I want to go there.
When you come to visit someday, well, I'll take you there. I'm also going to take you to a
All
little
the places.
1950s, a little 1950s themed ice cream shop that we have. So
I love that. I
listen,
love that so
our town
much.
is our town is where it's at, and I'll save my other fun thing for next week because I'm really excited about that. So,
Yeah.
shall we? So we're at 11 and a half minutes. It's not our standard 13, but I also know last time we were at like 15 or something. So
Okay. I think
let's
we should just jump right in.
let's party. Yours is. Do we want to do a little disclaimer here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to be doing a major disclaimer here. Should I
Major.
start? Because mine's really heavy.
Yes, and then I can wrap us up with
Not
something
heavy.
not at all heavy. Yeah, so
Okay, so mine is very heavy. Murder, big
Moida,
murder, unsolved murder, cold case
unsolved
murder.
Moida.
Please, if this is disturbing to you, also assault and rape. So if this is disturbing to you, please skip to Cassie. I will not be
Come
offended.
hang out with
in any.
me.
I will not be offended in any way, shape, or form. Just skip ahead.
We're going to
Thank you.
discuss some architectural phenomena.
Oh, I love that. Do, 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 do.
All right. Jesus, take the wheel. Let's hear about the Moida.
Okay. I'm talking about the Walker family murder.
Oh my God, you know what's so bad? I'm pretty sure I watched Mean Girls last weekend, and doesn't she win coupons for the Walker Family Pancake House?
Does she?
I feel like that's what it's called, and that's just immediately where my mind went to. So sorry,
I'm gonna
carry
have to
on.
look into that. Anyways, so the Walker family. It was Christine and Cliff Walker and their two children, Jimmy and Debbie. They were a normal average family. Christine was 24, Cliff was 25, their son Jimmy was 3, and their daughter Debbie was 1. There isn't much to say about them other than they were a typical quiet family, young,
Just
quiet
hanging,
family.
just chilling.
Yep. They lived in Osprey, Florida. And unfortunately, there isn't much else to say about them, and this will be short and sweet, but I wanted to bring light to their case because it is cold. So,
Like very cold.
like, very cold and unsolved. So,
Oh,
maybe
extremely chilele. Okay.
if something is talked about, it can bring light to it. Who knows?
We'd love to do it.
So, on December 19th, 1959, Christine, Cliff, and their two children were murdered at their home. Authorities believe that 24-year-old Christine arrived at the family's home around 4 p.m. Saturday, December 19th, where she was raped and then murdered by gunshot.
Jesus.
Her husband, Cliff, 25, then arrived with their 3-year-old son, Jimmy, and their 1-year-old daughter, Debbie. Cliff was ambushed and killed by gunshot. Jimmy and Debbie were then murdered the same way.
Oh my.
Debbie was believed to also have been additioned to be drowned, so it's unclear of whether or not she was killed by the shot or drowned. It's unclear what came first.
I'm curious about the lungs.
Yeah, they don't know
Mm-hmm.
if she was shot and then didn't die, so they drowned her, or if they were drowning her and that wasn't working, so then she was shot.
Jesus.
And why?
Yeah.
Um, Physical evidence left at the scene included a bloody cowboy boot, a cell phone strip from a cellophane strip from a cool cigarette wrapper, and a fingerprint on the bathtub faucet handle. A serial killer named Emmett Monroe Spencer confessed to the murders, but the confession was discredited by Sarasota County Sheriff Ross Boyer, who labeled Spencer as a pathological liar. Spencer's confession was determined to be cleverly constructed from real murders written up in newspapers and true crime novels that he liked to read. In 1994, a bartender in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, contacted Sarasota County's Sheriff's Office, claiming that one of her customers had boasted of killing the Walker family, but this tip was never verified. The police never identified a motive, and actually 587 people were suspects at one time or another. The case remains open.
Oh my God.
I think it's kind of crazy that at one time or another, 587 people were suspects. That is
Yeah, holy shit.
a massive number. Like,
what was it, their entire fucking town? Like, what? How?
believe it or not, in 2012, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office began investigating possible links between the Walker family murders and Perry Smith and Richard Dick Hickok.
Oh,
Yeah.
those parents set him up for failure. Dick Hickok? Dickcock? Dick. Two penis references. Oh my lord. All right.
Who had been convicted and executed in 1959 for the murders of another family in Holcomb, Kansas. That family were the topic of Truman Capote's 1965's best-selling true crime book, In Cold Blood. While that book
Truman Capote. Okay.
Yeah. While that book devoted several pages to the Walker case, it dismissed possible connection to Hickok and Smith, asserting that the two men had an alibi for that day. However, records and witnesses' accounts collected by Kansas and Florida investigators show several factual contradictions in the book and the account. So it's possible that these two men are held accountable for the murders.
Wow. In which case, we're never going to really get an answer.
Yeah.
Wow.
The sheriff's office admitted that Hickok and Smith had been considered suspects as far back as 1960 after killing 4 members of another family in Kansas 34 days before the Walker murders. Smith and Hickok fled to Florida in a stolen car and were spotted at least a dozen times between Tallahassee and Miami. The pair checked into a Miami Beach hotel about 4 hours from Osprey and checked out the morning of the Walker murders. At some point that day, Smith and Hickok bought items at a Sarasota department store just a few miles from the Walker home. One witness said that the taller of the two men had a scratched up face. The pair was arrested in Las Vegas, Nevada on December 3rd, 1959 for the other family murders.
Okay.
And were executed by hanging on, wait for it, April 14th,
Oh my God.
1965. A lot's happened on my birthday.
Birthday.
While a polygraph test appeared clear for the Walker murders, at least one expert has asserted that polygraph machines in the early 1960s were notoriously inaccurate.
I mean, I believe it.
With that evidence coming forward, I think these men are responsible for the murders.
I think they're probably the most likely, it sounds like.
right?
It's a shame that it can't be well, at this point anybody who would have wanted answers are gone, right? Like I would
Yeah.
assume. But wow, what a terrible case. Those guys are fucking garbage. And if they're not the ones who did it, whoever did is garbage. That, that stands.
Yeah. And now it's not really, I mean, they're gone.
They're gone.
We can't find their prints. We
Yeah.
don't know that DNA is, if there was DNA found, or if there we can even match DNA at this point. I mean,
Yeah,
science is
that
a wild thing.
DNA. I mean, they could at this point if they had viable samples. But the question is like, I don't know that they took
Yeah.
samples.
But
Like
I find cold cases wild. You know
they
this.
are. I love
And
them.
I feel very sad for this family because,
What a tragedy.
but knowing that they were in the area of the murder, and it just, the timeline is insane.
It is.
It just, so
It's just so crazy to me how you can just have what you think is going to be a totally normal day, and then something just so out of left field will happen, and it's
right.
terrible. That's so sad. Oh, I'm sad for them. Well,
So
if you guys have information, share it with, I guess, Osprey County?
the Sarasota County Sheriffs.
Sarasota County, rather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Shout out.
because that, to this day, the case is still unsolved and cold.
Ugh. What kind of asshole? Like, I mean, really? A 3-year-old and a 1-year-old on top of all of it? What is wrong with people? Not excusing the adult murders, but you know what I mean. Wow. That was heavy, but that was a good. I'm glad you chose that topic. Thanks for sharing, Besta Besta.
So
I
sorry for
have.
the heaviness, but yeah.
No, it's cool. I have something so unrelated. It's not
But we
even
like that.
funny.
Let's not have anything related to this. Go ahead.
Today's episode. Nope. Today's my topic. is
Today's
brought,
topic.
is brought to you by Cousin Caitlin. Thank you, Cousin Caitlin.
Thank you, cousin
I'm
Caitlin.
covering the Loretto Chapel staircase. Why am I
Oh,
covering a staircase, you might ask? I'm going to tell you why. There are 3 mysteries that surround the spiral staircase in the Loretto Chapel.
I love spiral staircases.
Chappelle. Me too, big fan. These mysteries be 1, the identity of its builder, 2, the type of wood used, and 3, the physics of its construction. So, the Loretto Chapel was completed in 1878, and there was no way to access the choir loft, which was 22 feet above. Oops. Like, hello, minor detail, but okay. So, carpenters were called in to address the problem. They're like, hey, we built this church, but nobody can get up there where they need to
Yep.
be. So, they all concluded access to the loft would have to be via a ladder, as a staircase would interfere with the interior space of it's a small chapel. So, legend says that to find a solution to the seating problem, the sisters of the chapel made a novena to St. Joseph, the patron saint of carpenters. Like,
Oh,
sure,
okay.
makes sense. Sure. On the 9th and final day of prayer, first of all, 9 days of praying. Girls,
It's a lot of work.
that is. On the 9th and final day of prayer, a man appeared at the chapel with a donkey and a toolbox looking for work. Behold, months later, the elegant circular staircase was completed, and the carpenter disappeared without any pay or thanks. And after searching for the man, they even ran an ad in the local newspaper, and finding no trace of him, some concluded that he was in fact St. Joseph himself, having come in answer to the sisters' prayers. Which, listen, if they're spending fucking 9 days of praying, I would hope so.
Yeah.
So the stairway's carpenter, whoever this individual was, builds this magnificent structure. Actually, I mean, look it up. It's very pretty. The design was innovative for the time, and some of the design considerations are still, like, perplexing experts today. So, The staircase has not one but two 360-degree turns and no visible means of support. What?
Yeah.
So, it is said that the staircase was built without nails, only wooden pegs, and questions also surround the number of stair risers relative to the height of the choir loft and about the types of wood and other materials used in the stairway's construction. And over the years, many people have flocked to the Loretto Chapel to see what has now become known as, quote, the miraculous staircase. It has been the subject of a lot of articles, TV specials. There have been movies, including Unsolved Mysteries, and the full length movie titled, quote, The Staircase, starring William Peterson and Barbara Hershey. So it's best known for this helix shaped staircase. It rises 20 feet to the choir loft, and it makes the two full turns, like I said, all without the support of what's known as a newel or a central pole. Because normally when you see a spiral staircase, you've got that pole right smack in the middle,
Yeah.
right? Nada. The staircase is built out of, like I said, wood held together mostly by wooden pegs, but there's no glue, nails, or other hardware used. And the inner, what's called, I don't know if it's pronounced stringer or stringer, but it consists of 7 wooden segments joined together with pegs, while the longer outer stringer has 9 segments. And the exact wood used to build the staircase has been confirmed to be a type of spruce not native to New Mexico, which is where this is, and scientifically not identified anywhere else in the world. What?
Huh.
I know. There are 33 stairs, which has been noted to be the age of Jesus himself at the age of death. The handrails were added later, so I guess this was just like, hey, we're going to live dangerously and not give anybody anything to hold on to.
Yeah.
This staircase that's just floating, but okay. I love it. So they were added in 1887, and an iron bracket was later attached to a column to add additional support. The staircase is supported now by an inner wood like stringer, but apart from any claims of its miraculous nature, the staircase has been described as this remarkable feat of woodworking. According to a Washington Post column by an author named Tim Carter, quote, it's a magnificent work of art that humbles me as a master carpenter. To create a staircase like this using modern tools would be a feat. It's mind-boggling to think about constructing such a marvel with crude hand tools, no electricity, and minimal resources. Fair. And then another professional carpenter who was interviewed by Ben Radford for his book Mysterious New Mexico said, quote, the execution is just incredible. The theory of how to do it, to bend it around in a 2-turn spiral, that's some difficult arithmetic there, I'll say. My ass wouldn't be able to wrap my mind around that. So a small bit of history here. So like I said, it was the exact like completion of this is a little unknown because it was ye olde, but it was built between 1877 and 1881. By this point, the chapel was substantially complete. It was lacking access to the choir loft, like I said. Some say it's actually not in terms of like an oversight of the architect for the chapel, but actually because he had a rather unexpected death.
Mm-hmm.
P.S. The architect's name was Projectus Mowley. Projectus. I love it. Anyway, he died in 1879. So the version of events passed down by the Sisters of Loretto, is kind of what I shared. A lot of builders were consulted. Nobody could find a workable solution. And then the 9 days of praying and whatever else. Now, more fantastical versions of the story have the work taking place overnight, just like in one night.
Yeah.
This person built this, while according to others, it's 6 to 8 months. But in any event, it's impressive, and it defies physics, basically. And it has became one of Santa Fe's most famous tourist attractions. And here's a little juicy tidbit, too. Because it originally lacked handrails,
Oh,
and it was so frightening to descend, some of the nuns and students would do so on their hands and knees. They would just like dog crawl up it.
How my kids used to do stairs. All right.
Yeah, I know. The stairs, though, at this point, they're mostly closed to the public since the chapel's become like a privately run museum, and that happened in the 1960s. And In the early 2000s, amateur historian Mary Jean Cook theorized that the probable builder of the staircase was somebody named Francois Jean Frank or Frenchy Rochas, who was a reclusive rancher and occasional carpenter. Same. Who came to New Mexico from France around the 1870s. A key piece of evidence was a short article in the Santa Fe New Mexican in 1895 describing his death by murder, which noted, quote, he was a Frenchman and was favorably known in Santa Fe as an expert worker in wood. He built the handsome staircase in the Loretto Chapel and at St. Vincent Sanitarium. Um, Cook, the historian, also found an entry in the sisters' logbook stating that Rochas had been paid uh, what was the equivalent of 150 US dollars, which in 2022, at the time that the article that I was reading wrote this, was about $4,500 for, quote, wood in 1881, confirming that he had done some type of carpentry work for them.
Yeah.
At the time of his death, he reportedly owned an extensive set of carpentry tools, including, quote, 5 saws, a saw clamp and set, 9 planes, 19 molding planes, 2 squares, 5 gauges, 6 chisels, 2 gouges, a draw knife, a brace, 3 augers, 10 auger bits, a reamer, 2 clamps, and a pair of trammel points for drawing large circles.
Wow.
Others have disputed this historian's theory. Writer John Clark stated that the memo in the logbook actually read, quote, paid for wood, Mr. Rochas for N school, and contends this refers instead to a nearby school that the sisters had hired him to build, and that the logbook makes no mention of a staircase. There are kind of some similar stairs, so although the design of the Loretto stairs is like very unusual, other spiral staircases without center supports are known to exist. One example can be found at the Old Washoe Club in Virginia City, Nevada. Dates back to the 1870s as well. The staircase was described by Ripley's Believe It or Not as, quote, the longest of its kind without a supporting pole, although it has fewer turns than the Loretto staircase does. Further afield, another staircase is in the Gdańsk Town Hall, I fucked that up probably, in Poland, which was reported to the New Mexican in 1944 by a government official named Bonnie Foster. And the paper wrote, quote, it is tall, spiral, and without steel nails, but the wood is different. It is in the town hall of the 14th to 16th century. How it was constructed and whether there is a miracle story back of it, Mrs. Foster could not say, but she declared it is strikingly like St. Joseph's in design. And that's what I have on the Loretto Chapel, so I don't know that we're ever going to know. I'm kind of convinced that it could be that French dude, but I don't know. There's also the whole school thing, so hard to say.
It's really cool.
It is cool. I wish I could go see it. It sounds like for the most part it's not really available to the public. Probably because the public is garbage and they would ruin such a structure.
They would break it. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So,
Wow.
There's that.
That was cool.
Yeah, thank you, Cousin Caitlin. This was a fun one to read about. It was very different from the norm. I mean, I will say that I'm not surprised that somebody of that time could build something so magnificent because old architecture is just so incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, and it's so amazing. I mean, just look at I get with the turns and everything and all that, no supporting structure in the middle, and yeah, but I look at some of the other feats, like just some Gothic chapels that were built, and really just top quality craftsmanship back in the day. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And if you want to believe that Saint Joseph came and with his donkey and did the thing, that's cool.
That works too.
I mean, sure, whatever floats your boat. It's like, come on, ass, let's go do this.
I love it.
So, direct quote. But anyway, that's the Loretto Chapel. I think it's, I sit in the house of belief that, no, it's not a divine, thing, but it's still really freaking cool. And yeah, so there you have it.
Wow. Good job, bestie. Good job,
Thank
Cousin
you
Caitlin, for suggesting it.
Yeah, and if I'm ever in New Mexico, I'll at least check out the privately run museum. That'd be cool. I love a museum, so. And that's what we have for you today. So ending on a little bit of a lighter note. And so if you know anything about the Moitas, let us know. If you know anything about the staircase, let us know.
Let us know.
And until next time.
Stay strange.